And today we're covering sine law, finding sides and finding angles. So let's get started. Remember the little trick of how to solve for a proportion, right? Whatever the number is across, a in this case, across is square root of 5, goes dividing, and the other two multiply. 6 times 7. If I'm looking for b, then directly across is 4.5, so b is equal to 24 times sine of 23 divided by the one that's diagonally across, which is 4.5. And then you plug that into your calculator. Now, I would usually like to put the 24 in front of the sine 23 and not the 24 after, so that this doesn't get confused. Alright, developing sine law, we're going to watch a little video that I have on screencast, but we're going to do that in school. But we're going to find out that the sine law, it's sine A over A equals sine B over B equals sine C over C. Now, because they're all equal to each other, I can do the inverse of them and say A over sine A. Now, I put stars on this because I tend personal taste. I just like to use the sine A and the sine B on top. Okay? And these are ratios that are formed with opposite side and angles. Remember, sine A is across from side A. So angle A is across from side A. Angle B is across from side B. And angle C is across from side C. So anytime we will need only one proportion. For example, sine B over B equals sine C over C, not the three of them. So how many pieces of information are involved? Well, we got 2 angles and 2 sides. So there's four pieces. How many knowns do I need to find one unknown? Well, I need 3 knowns. I need to know 3 pieces of information in order to be able to use sine law. Otherwise, I just can't use it. But can it be just any 3 items? Well, no. We're going to need to find a full ratio. So I'm going to call it an opposite side and an opposite angle. If I don't have an opposite side and opposite angle, I cannot do it. So I need a full ratio, or I need opposite side, opposite angle, which is the same thing. If you have a question like this, triangle XYZ, so we're just going to draw a random triangle. Could it be right angle? Could be, we don't really know. And I'm going to put the letters X, Y, and Z. Now angle X is 45, so this is 45. So angle Z is 63.4, 63.4, and side Y is 6. Okay, side Y, it's got to be up cross, so it's 6. And what is X? X is what I'm looking for. This is what I'm looking for. I need to have opposite side and opposite angle, but I don't really have it, so I'm gonna need to do a little trick. And it's gonna say, I know that the 3 angles on the triangle have to be 180, so 180 y is gonna be equal to 180 minus 45 minus 63.4. So I plug in my calculator, 180 minus 45 minus 63.4, 71.6. So that angle right here is 71.6, which we found out we didn't have it. So now I have opposite side and opposite angle. Therefore, now I can set up my proportion. So sine of 45 divided by, that's across from x, right? Divided by x is equal to sine of, I'm going to use the 71.6 because I have something that's across. I'm not going to use this one because I've got nothing across there. Sine of 71.6 divided by 6. There's my proportion. Now diagonally across from x is sine 71.6, so that will go dividing. So now that x is going to be 6 sine of 45 divided by sine of 71.6. And when you plug that into your calculator, you should get that x is approximately 4.47. Because we have centimeters, that's the one that we need to put. We need to give the units for centimeters. Okay? On the next example, we need to find an angle. And what angle is that? Angle D. Do I have opposite side, opposite angle? I do. I have the side and the angle, so I don't have to do extra work. I can just go set it up straight. So sine of D over opposite from D is 18.84. 18.84 is equal to sine of 41 over 14. Now I'm solving for sine D, and that's 14 diagonally across, so that goes dividing. So sine of D is equal to sine of 41, 18.84 sine of 41 divided by 14. And just remember, I have the answers already made up, so here it goes. 1884 times sine of 41 divided by 14. And then I need to isolate for D, so I need to move the sign over to that side. I wrote it in gray because I don't really write this point. This only happens on my calculator. I calculate this number, and that's going to end up being a number between -1 and 1. It can't be any bigger than -1. It can't be any bigger. It can't be any smaller than -1. It can't be any bigger than 1, and we'll talk about that in class. And then I'm going to use the inverse sign, and that will give me 62. But I will not write this number down, the 0 point blah 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 blah. I will not actually write it. It will just come up on my calculator. So the formulas now, we had the left side with the right angle triangles, but if it's not a right angle triangle, we can assume that it is, then we're going to ask one simple question. Opposite side and angle. Do I have opposite side and opposite angle? And if yes, then we're going to use sine law.